Hello and welcome to Cal Industrial Sales TV. Today we're going to be looking at the Invertek OptiDrive E. This is Invertek's compact drive solution. It is a small drive. It's got a LED screen display with real simple push button control. It's available up to 50 horsepower and 480 volts, and in 230 volt you've got it up to 25 horsepower. There are also single-phase input options available up to 10 horsepower. The drive itself is really compact, but still has a lot of the functionality that you see in some of the more higher-end versions. It is able to communicate over Ethernet IP as well as Modbus TCP, which are available as options. And on board, it has Modbus, RTU, and CAN bus. The communication protocol as a standard. The drive also has a really nice feature in that you can reference for programming a little guide that they have actually that's integral to the drive that you can pull right out, and so it will show you the default control terminal configuration, and then also some of the programming defaults that are in there. So that's kind of handy and something that's available on all of these. It just slides right back in. So you've got power coming in through the top, your main line power, and then if it's three-phase, you'd have three wires here, and then you have a ground over here, and then we've got motor terminals that are wired from the out of the bottom. Those are going to those are your motor leads down here. So really easy wiring. For the control terminal strip, which is located right here, we've got a start signal wired in. Also have three wires coming in for a speed pot for 0 to 10 speed control, which is the default out of the box setting for this drive. We want to go in and program this thing. It's real straightforward. You've got your, like I said, your LED display, and if you press the button right here in the middle and just sort of hold it down for a second, it gets you right into the programming. And we'll go ahead and start with P01. And so you just scroll down to it using the up and down arrows, and then once you get to the parameter that you want to manipulate, you just press the enter button here. And this is the max frequency, which is already set at 60 hertz, so we'll leave that alone. And then we'll go to P02, which is going to be the minimum frequency, and that's set at 20 hertz, and we'll leave that also. But if you want to change the minimum frequency, you'd be able to go into here, and just toggle up and down until it gets to the setting that you want it to be at. Now, if you want to, say, zero this out without having to go through toggling all the way down, if you just hold these two up and down arrow, if you hold them down at the same time, that will take that value down to 0, and then from here you can just hold this and it'll go to the value that you want to have the minimum frequency at. But we'll go ahead and leave that at 20. All right, so we've got that in there. And then the acceleration ramp time and the deceleration ramp time are P03 and P04. So we'll go into there. It's set at 5 seconds. That's good. We can just leave that. P04 is also set at 5 seconds. And again, if you did want to change it, you just go ahead and press the up arrow. We can take that to 6 seconds and just leave that in there as the decel time. And then we can go to the stop mode, which is P05, and that's set at 0. And 0 is the ramp to stop, and so we'll leave that as it is. We have other options including coast to stop, but in this case we'll leave it at ramp to stop because we have those accel and decel times in there. We'll go to now some of the motor parameters. The motor rated voltage being the first one, which is P07, so we'll go in and change that. It's at 230, which is what the motor is, so we'll go ahead and leave that alone. And we will go to the motor rated current, which is P08. Change that. I think this is a real small little demo motor, fraction of an amp, so we just go down. I think it was 0.6 amps. So we'll change that So there, we've set the motor current, and then P09 is a motor rated frequency, which is 60 hertz, and that's what it's set at. So the other one of the other parameters that you can change, which is going to speak to the application, is the operating mode. And this drive is able to be utilized in either industrial constant torque applications or variable torque loads such as fans or pumps. And that's the P13 parameter. So if we go into that, hold that down, go to P13, it's set at 0 right now, and 0 is general purpose, which is a constant torque application. But if you wanted to change that to a fan or pump, I think 1 is pump, 2 is fan. So we'll leave that at 0, but that is something that you may want to change. P12 is the primary command source, and as the standard, it's looking at your terminals for your drive response. So it's directly tied to the terminals, which is where we'll leave it. But if you wanted to change that to keypad control, this is where you'd go and do that, or maybe putting it over a network control. Here's where you would do it. So that is really all that needs to be changed. And from here, I've got a start-stop signal wired in. So if I press on, oh, it's running, but you can't see the display. You just have to hold this down, this button. So there it is. There is the frequency. And if you press this button, you can see amps as well, power output, and then the frequency. And since I have this being controlled by a speed pot right now, if I turn this down, you can see the speed reducing there. And since we have, 20 hertz as the minimum frequency, it's going to stay there, and then it just speeds back up. So that's it. That's out of the box, and a few parameters that need to be input, and it's running. Now, since I've adjusted all the parameters, let's say you wanted to start over and maybe do a factory reset because you just wanted to start from the beginning, it's easy enough. All you have to do is hold down this up and down arrow as well as the stop button. And if you hold those 3 down at the same time for a second or two, you get this UDEF display. And if you press the stop button, that's take it to factory default. So now we're back to factory default settings. So that's it. If there are other functionalities that you'd like to see in this drive, just comment below and we'll be happy to put up another video showing that. Thank you for your time.